4th general meeting of the Millbrae Elementary School District, and we're so happy to have everybody here tonight. We're going to stand right now for the flag salute. And we have Brooklyn and Madison are going to lead us to the flag salute. Brooklyn and Madison.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Thank you very much. So, a couple of quick announcements that we have tonight. We have Trustee Lynn Ferrario, who's visiting family, our Superintendent Debbie French, and our Trustee Maggie Musa are on medical day off. And we'll go with that. So I know that our superintendent is watching right now. She's watching this. And this meeting is going to be televised by MCTV live. And it'll be on MCTV YouTube. So you could watch it next week, or you could watch it next month or next year. It'll be on forever. Okay? So now we have the Green Hills School's presentation. Okay? This meeting is being televised and recorded for the transcription of the minutes. The meeting will be played on MCTV, as I just mentioned. At this time, speakers wishing to address the board this evening should turn in the completed speaker card to the board secretary. We'll now report on action taken in closed session. There was no action taken in closed session. Now we'll go right for the school spotlight. Green Hills Elementary. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Trustee Chin made the motion. Trustee Fema, second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Now we have the Green Hill Spotlight. Who's coming up?
Good evening. Less Superintendent French, but Millbrae School District board members, district cabinet, community members, and all the students and parents and staff that work together daily to build and embrace the spirit of community at Green Hills Elementary. Our spotlight tonight will be two things. What is this? We're first going to share with you capture music, art, and the spirit of community. We're going to begin with that many of you probably heard several times in your home over the past week. It was coordinated by Mrs. Mahfouz, the music teacher. Unfortunately, she can't make it this evening, but we do have the amazing team of Mrs. Navarro and Miss Finicchiaro here. Thank you again. Miss Mafuz, who isn't here, but second graders, well done. We're so very proud of you. Our second showing this evening that we'd like to spotlight truly embraces what it means to be a part of the Green Hills community. This involved our students, our faculty, the wonderful partnership we have with PTA, and to lead us in that journey to see the mural that is new at Green Hills is fifth grade teacher extraordinaire, Trish Altos.
Hello. All right. Okay. Hello, Board of Trustees and everybody. I don't see Superintendent French, not here today. Yeah. Good evening. It's nice to see everybody. I just wanted to talk a little bit about George Carwatt. He gave over 50 years of his life to our school district. He was our custodian. So he actually touched multiple generations. As a matter of fact, we have a family here that he worked with 3 generations of that family, and their children are still here at Green Hills. He was loved by all the students and the staff. He always went above and beyond. He would get to school really early, like at 5:30. His day did not start at 5:30, but he would go to school at 5:30, and he'd make sure he blew all the leaves. He made sure he swept all the puddles so that school was ready for the kids when they got there. Most importantly, he was a kind man. He worked hard. He was very modest. He was very humble. But in 2015, it was his 50th year, and thank you. And we celebrated his 50th anniversary with some celebrations at school with the kids. And the fifth grade students wrote persuasive essays to the school board. You might remember that. And they convinced, I don't think it took a lot of convincing, but they convinced the school board to name our multi-purpose room after George. And so it is named after George. And there it is. You can see the George Carwatt building, and they got those letters up right away. And then Carlos and his family, Carlos Gonzalez and his family, joined our school. And he saw the name on the building. And he said, that guy must be pretty important. And we were said, yeah, he was really important. We told him the story. Well, Carlos happens to be a muralist and an activist and a musician and a retired probation officer. And he said, we need to make a mural to go with that building. And so Carlos Cookie Gonzalez is going to join us to talk about the process that we went through to create this amazing mural. Without his inspiration and without his work, I probably should have. Without his inspiration and his ideas, this would never have come to fruition. We are 1,000 million times thankful to Cookie for making this happen. Every time I walk out on the yard, every time any of us walk out on the yard, our heart sings, and I'm not going to cry. And we are just so thankful. And the kids did a great job, and the PTA and everybody that helped to make this happen. So Cookie, if you can come on over and say a few things, and I think he's got a movie for us. So thank you, Cookie. I know, yeah. You got the movie?
Let me just say a few words and then. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm honored to be here, and the mural started as an idea when Mr. Fong was the principal at Green Hills. And we talked about getting the PTA approval, and we had a few meetings with parents, and I did the sketch. And the reason I wanted to do it was to give back to the school and the school district for the excellent education that our kids are getting there. And I wanted to thank them in that way, since I don't have much money to donate or whatever. But I think the mural would be a way of saying thank you to the school district and all the teachers and staff that have been so wonderful to our kids, and they're getting a quality education at Green Hills, and I'm really proud to say that my kids are going to be graduating. My daughter, Sophie, is her last year. My son, Nicholas, is at Mills, and they both went to Green Hills. So the idea came about when I asked about who Mr. Carwat was, and me, Mr. Fong, and the parent meetings meet Mr. Fong every Friday morning, or the first Friday of every month. We started talking about the idea. I did the sketch, then we got the approval, and right when we were ready to go, COVID hit. And so it was a blow. And in that time, Mr. Gallagher had passed in an untimely manner. And so we thought about, well, when COVID is over, we'll come back. But then unfortunately, I got diagnosed with cancer and I had to battle it all last year. I'm in remission now. I'm on the better I'm on the better side of it. And so a promise is a promise. And what we did was we continued that vision now with Ms. Dees as principal. And so we had the approval from the school district from 3 years ago, and we got it back. And so we started painting the mural about 2 weeks ago. And since Mr. Carwat was a modest man, the original design had a portrait of Mr. Carwat, but his family said that he was a modest guy and he wouldn't have wanted his face on there. So we did the silhouettes. And the silhouette idea in different colors was to represent Mr. Carwat in the middle holding the kids' hands, and all the different colors representing diversity in the community. So that's the simple idea, and in front of the rolling green hills, which is the namesake of the school. So we just finished the mural after about 2 weeks of work, and then we had a delay because of the hot weather. It gets really hot on that wall, and we had a delay. And then I had another minor surgery. I had to recover. So in the 3 weeks that we had planned, we actually knocked it out in about 8 or 9 days. So we really, the kids, oh my God, they were so wonderful and very instructable. So, and I think the teachers were harder to deal with than the kids. But anyways, we got the mural done, and I'm really proud of it. So without any further ado, I did a video of the mural before and after the process. So there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Hello. That really just embraces and scratches the surface of what it means to be a community member of the Green Hills Rams, a student, faculty, the neighbors. I met a new neighbor yesterday. So thank you for your time this evening. And school board, if you have any questions or comments for us, we're open for that at this time.
Sure. I'm going to definitely ask our trustees to weigh in on this beautiful presentation. We'll start with Trustee Chin.
I don't have any questions so much, but I do have some comments. I think there's nothing more joyful than the sound of children singing. And there was so fitting because I don't know if you all know, but today is National Taco Day. So your song was incredibly appropriate. And I think I'm just so overwhelmed with all of the joy that I see in the room and this wonderful community of Green Hills parents and kids and student and administrators, teachers. It's just absolutely amazing. I think what Mr. Gonzalez did in terms of the mural is a wonderful celebration of art and creativity and such a point of pride for the whole community that they can just kind of carry on for a long time. I can feel the energy of the Green Hills pride and community in this room, and that's exactly what we want to have in all of our schools. And so, well done, kids, on your singing, especially on National Taco Day. I love the costume, by the way, and thank you for pointing out the meat and the cheese. And really just completely blown away by that beautiful mural. What a wonderful gift to the school. Thank you so much, Mr. Gonzalez, for such a beautiful and lasting gift for the school.
Thank you, Trustee Chin. Trustee Fama.
Yes, thank you. I can't think of a better signal that tells us that we're coming out of all the troubles of the last several years by looking at this mural. We've had COVID, we've had political unrest, we've had all kinds of pretty awful things that have happened in our country. And to see that mural coming to life now is perfect timing as far as I'm concerned. We need this kind of an activity in our school district to show the way. And I've been looking for signs for years to see where we're going, what's going to happen. This is the right direction. And I want to thank Mr. Gonzalez so much for your God-given work. My grandchildren went to Green Hills, and my wife went to Green Hills. And the only way I could get in to be close to Green Hills was to run for the school board. So that's why I'm here tonight. And I want to thank all of you, teachers, faculty, community, children, and friends of the Millbrae School District for giving me the highlight of my week. Thank you.
Trustee Fama. I was so excited tonight to hear that a school like Green Hills was coming in to present. And when I saw the kids come in, probably about a half an hour early, it was really exciting. I mean, we just couldn't even talk inside this closed session room because we heard the kids and the family outside. So this is why we're here, for our kids, and this is what we do. And I want to thank Carlos for a wonderful gift that you gave this school. Thank you so much, Carlos. You made a beautiful mural of George. George was very important to all of us in the district, especially when we first got on the school board and heard how George got involved with Green Hills and how committed he was. And from that time on, we cherished him. And when we lost him, it was really sad for all of us. But to honor him this way is really extravagant. I really love that. And the kids that were here tonight, you guys, you kids, you sang so good. I filmed it all. I'm going to go home tonight and show my family. I'm so excited to see you guys all. And so I just want to thank the teachers who put this all together, Carlos, the parents, and all the kids. This is why we're here. Thank you so much. And we have cookies for everyone. So we're going to take a little break and a little pause, and we're going to hand out some cookies on your way out the door. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. That was beautiful. So they're going to have a plaque. They're going to have a big presentation. They're going to have the Aztecs come in. They're going to say a couple of prayers and everything. So I hope we could all go. I don't know what they're going to do, but we're going to put up a plaque. I mean, why not the school district put up a plaque and pay for it? Ralph? Ralph? So we were just talking here, my colleagues and I, and they want to put up a plaque for the school. Okay. Huh? What about that? 6-2. Yeah, yeah. Presentation. Okay. We'll now open up the open session again. I guess we're in open session right now. Okay. Okay. So we have a presentation from Special Education Update. Christine Passmore, Director of Special Education.
Sorry, I was waiting for the mic. Hi, President Barbaro, Board of Trustees, my colleagues, and of course our wonderful community. So I'm just going to give you a little update about some program improvements and changes that we made in special education, but I don't know how I'm going to follow up the cuteness of the last presentation. So I'm going to do my best. Sorry, it won't be as adorable. So we've been able to welcome quite a few new people to the Milbrae family. We have a new psychologist, Jennifer, a speech pathologist, Lisa, a behavior supervisor, Brittany, a new occupational therapist, Rebecca. We have a new RSP teacher at Meadows, Gina. We have a new preschool and thus a preschool teacher, Renee. Another occupational therapist, so we actually have two now, Eileen, and we have a program coordinator for the special education department as well. So we've been really lucky to welcome them into our Milbrae family. And we have two main goals that we are really driving home this year, which are quality IEPs and quality programs for kids. And so every decision that we're making within our program department is geared towards those two goals. So as we said, we have our new preschool class, and we established it at Green Hills. So we are able to have some, we're able to incorporate a lot of inclusion opportunities with our TK classroom as well. So that's been really wonderful to be able to provide some inclusion opportunities for our preschool students. Some highlights are that we are utilizing Sunday Let's Play. We have safety care trained everyone, so we are really working on de-escalation of behavioral supports for students. And then, of course, I already said it because I was just really excited to say it, and that is inclusive opportunities with our new TK class as well. That's also on Green Hills. And that's our new teacher, Miss Renee. And we moved one of our classes to Green Hills as well. So we do have a kindergarten through second grade class as well that we have moved from Meadows to Green Hills, and that is myself and one of our para educators, and we were very excited for our first day of school at, again at Green Hills Elementary. So a lot of new changes that we have. Something that we really value in our department is communication, a home to school communication from our students and our staff to our families. So we now have a home to school communication books for non-verbal and limited verbal students in our Millbrae SAI classes. So for instance, most families could ask their child, how was your day? For some of our nonverbal and limited verbal students, they may not always get that response. So this is a way for us to be able to communicate the day with from the teacher to the families. And you can't really tell in there, but there's also like a little like happy face system in there. So students themselves are also saying like what kind of day that they had, and they're able to express that and bring that home to the families as well. Some more program improvements. Our staff are safety care trained. We're finishing up some training. We have ongoing training because we have been getting new staff as the year has gone on, which has been wonderful and great for our department. We have a voluntary special education work group, #VSWG, where we work weekly actually, and we talk about curriculum, we talk about IEPs, we talk about supports that are needed throughout the district. And so all of our special education teachers can voluntarily come, all of our related service providers can voluntarily come, and we come together as a time to sort of talk about special education students' needs in particular and learn from each other. And it's all voluntary, and as you can see in the picture, I'm hoping that we have a great turnout. We've got some we have very fabulous teachers. I want to give a shout out to all the teachers out there because, sorry, I'm pointing at the camera, because honestly, they are the ones that do the hard work every day. So I appreciate them tremendously. And we do have regular meetings with our service providers, and what that means is I'm meeting with our speech pathologists, I'm meeting with our occupational therapists and our psychologists on a regular basis. And that's, of course, to support our therapists in terms of if they need help with getting materials for students, if they need help with writing IEP goals, if they need help with just problem solving difficult cases within the Millbrae School District. We have been working on, it's been the year of Sunday, so we've been doing a lot of Sunday support and Sunday training for staff. We have ongoing behavioral supports embedded in our special education programs. So that is our new behavior supervisor, Brittany, and she's been going in and out of classes, and she's been supporting behavioral needs for students in our special education programs, along with Sarah, who is her counterpart. We also have been working on parent training series. So we had one, we've had one already, and so I hope you've all seen the flyers, and we've been posting them as well, but we do have some parent trainings coming up throughout the year. So I encourage you to take a look at that, and if anyone at all needs access to these flyers, you can reach out to myself, you can reach out to Ms. Terry Brenner, and we would be happy to give you one of those flyers as well. We also have specific special education family training series. What we hear often from our families is some of these things don't really apply to me. My child learns differently, and I need different supports. I need to know how to support the behaviors at home. I need to know how to support with communication at home. How can I support my child? So we do have special education specific training for some of our families. And then we're also looking at establishing a special education advisory committee. So we will be reaching out to teachers and asking for support from our teachers to come to these special education advisory committees. And it's not just special education teachers, it's general education teachers, it's related service providers. It's anyone who wants to be part of it, and they can fill out the form below, and we can go through that and see about putting together an advisory committee to help support site-based and district-based goals and visions and supports for students with disabilities. Questions?
Are there any parents going to be on that advisory committee, or is it just teachers?
So right now we're establishing it with teachers, but the goal is to fold in families into that advisory committee as well. I'm not sure if we want to fold them into that advisory committee or branch out and have our own advisory committee that's family specific. So I think that the work has to start with the teachers and seeing if they need their own advisory committee and then establishing a parent one, or if we can fold it all into one group. But the hope is to start there and then, yes, branch out into either folding the families in or just establishing a family-specific one.
Okay.
So more to come.
Any questions?
Yeah, thank you for the report. I get a very confident feeling when I listen to your reports because there's a continuum. I'm seeing progress, I'm seeing dedication, I'm seeing competence. So I wanted to let you know that your reports are very, very informative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Karen, any questions? No?
Yeah, I agree with that comment that Trustee Fema just made. It's nice to see how you're including the entire community, general teachers and all of the different workshops that you're putting on that are all voluntary. I think all of those are great supports for folks who may need to know a little bit more or are interested in knowing more how to support our kids. And so I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for a very comprehensive report. And I know that there's a lot of good work going on right now. We really feel it all, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving right along, communications to the board. Speakers wishing to address the board on items on the agenda may complete speaker cards and submit them to the board secretary. Speakers addressing the specific items on the agenda will have the opportunity to address the board at the time of the agenda item in the meeting. If you're addressing the board on a non-agenda item, please be aware that the provisions of the Brown Act prohibit the board from acting or discussing such matters at this meeting. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person per topic. Okay? We're going to pass on the superintendent's update. Okay? And we're going to go right to trustee communications. Trustee Chin, you good? Okay. Trustee Fema,
I only get 100 words a meeting, so I've exceeded that already.
you already passed it right now.
Yeah, no, I have nothing, thanks.
Okay. I have nothing too. We can move right along to the consent agenda. This is a action item. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by trustee Chin, second by trustee Fema. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 3-0. We'll move it right along. District business. Approval of resolution number 222306, board authorization of teaching assignments to comply with the SB 435. Claudia Boudieg.
Thank you, President Barbaro. This is an annual item. This is when teachers are teaching electives that they may not hold the credential for. For an example, an art teacher who may be teaching art as her elective, but teaches English language arts the rest of the day. We would then take this resolution to you for approval, and all of the teachers have agreed to teach what they are teaching.
Okay, this is an action item. Do I have a motion? Trustee Chin made the motion. Second by trustee Fema. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Number 2, approval of local indicator update.
Good evening, President Barbaro, trustees, and all of our guests. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm not going to be able to come near the cuteness factor of our kids, nor even the cuteness factor with your rubber duckies. I have nothing in here that's even close. But this is something that we need to do each year. So. All right, so the state sets LCFF, our funds, and has priorities. There's, I call them the state 8, but there's actually 10, 2 the county takes care of. but 8 are the responsibilities of our school districts. And then based on those priorities, we figure out what our local indicators are. And those are reported every year on the dashboard, on the California dashboard. And so there's 5 groups. I have them all right here. I'm not going to read them all to you. All of this is linked in, and everything you see, like in the green, are live links if you want to dig further. So how we are rated is we use a self-reflection tool. And so when our team looked at this and looked at prior years and where we scored, we wanted to be very authentic and really take a deep dive and look, had we been reporting fairly and correctly? So when you go through this, you're going to see that in some areas we actually scored less this year than in prior years. So the rating is 1 to 5, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being fully implemented and sustainable. And then there's also spaces where we have to write a narrative. And so if you want to see the full document, you just click on that green link. So these are the 5 areas, and again, I won't read them to you, but they're very well-rounded. So in the first area, there were a couple different scores that we gave, and almost all of those were 5. What this means is that we are supplying the curriculum that we are supposed to, the instructional materials. Our facilities are up to date and in good repair according to the standards. So in almost all areas, we were a 5. The next one is implementation of academic standards, and I just sort of highlighted so that we don't have to read all of this. But basically what this one means is that we're implementing policies and programs. We're always looking to improve our delivery of instruction. We're basing instruction on academic standards, and we're identifying professional learning needs of our school district, our teachers, our staff. And then the next category is parent and family engagement. And we identified most of those areas to be in a 3 because we know we have work to do on that. So that would include welcoming environments, learning about our families. I've always said that we should know every student by name, strength, and need. And so that's a goal that we need to achieve. So we know we need to do some work in that area. So we're talking about our cultures, our language, our goals, the strengths of all of our families and what they bring to our Millbrae community. Local school climate. So here's a summary of what we reported. So this comes mainly from the CHIC survey, or the California Healthy Kids survey. 76% of our students said on the survey that they feel connected to their school. 85% said that they feel safe. And both of these are increases from prior years by like 10% or more. So that's a good thing. That shows that we're increasing in that area, and I'm hoping as we continue, we're going to see continual increases in those. 93% of our students also report that they feel they exhibit good behavior at school. And I'm going to concur with that. That sounds kind of high when you first think about it compared to some of the other scores. But basically, on a daily basis, I think most of our kids come to school and do a really good job. It's a few knuckleheads who once in a while have a behavior problem, and obviously that sort of gets highlighted and we hear the most about that, and sometimes we don't hear about that good behavior, and that's kind of a shame. So we need to get better at celebrating that because our kids in Millbrae are really good kids. Another area is access to a broad course of study. And we also look at attendance and understanding culturally and ethnically diverse students. We consider that, and we look at the attendance piece for that, and we know that we need to do work in increasing our attendance rate. And so that has also been a goal. So We looked at some of the areas where we were scoring a little bit lower than previous years, but now the fun part, let's look at the improvements and the things that we plan on doing, because that's where we want to concentrate our time. So here are some of the initiatives and things that we're doing in Millbrae this year that you're going to see happening, and I think they're going to have an effect, a really positive effect on the things that we just talked about. They're going to increase those scores on our local indicators. So the first thing is we're going to be doing some anti-bias training through the Anti-Defamation League. They will be coming in November to do an all-staff training with us, and then they also have some resources, and we can continue that relationship and have them back for future trainings in the next coming years if we decide to do that. We are also partnering with them on something called No Place for Hate, and it's really a movement because it's student-led, and it teaches our students to be activists. And I say that word, but in a good way. Like sometimes when you hear that word, you think, that it's, we're going to get loud and all this and that, but it's really how to teaches our kids how to be activists. And in a positive way and advocate for themselves. We're going to actually roll this out beginning on Unity Day, which is Wednesday, October 18th. And we're going to have Taylor Middle School kind of start and model for the elementary schools to make it a little bit easier for them on how we're going to do this. So No Place for Hate. Basically, in order to qualify as a No Place for Hate school, you have to have students and your community sign a pledge. So we're going to put that pledge on a banner and put it really big in the Shea Center. And then the kids will come up and have the opportunity to sign it if they wish. We're hoping that most of our students will. And then you have to do 3 qualifying events through the school year. And they can't be, like last year we did some assemblies and we thought, oh, these might qualify, but they didn't because they have to have a space for student voice. And so we're going to do that this year, and we've got some ideas planned for Taylor on how we'll do this, and then again, we'll roll this out in our elementary schools. On October 19th, the PTA is having a hot dog bash, and so we just recently spoke with them and partnered with them, and what we're going to do is invite the Taylor community, the parents and families, to come in and sign the banner as well that the students got to sign the day before, and we're pretty sure we're going to have a guest speaker from the Anti-Defamation League as well. So that's October 18th and 19th, and then you'll hear more about it in the elementary schools as we roll this out. So we're really looking forward to that because that's fun work, and there's some really great people that have partnered with the Anti-Defamation League on No Place for Hate, ones that I think our students can relate to. And so we're looking forward to the presentations that we have planned for the kids to do this work. We're also working on building Millbrae's capacity as a professional learning community. We have made some great partnerships on that, and we're sending our staff to training through Solution Tree. And so far, the impact has been great. The folks that went really enjoyed it, had such positive things to say about it. So we sent 20, I think, this summer, and in November, we're sending another group of about 20 to the same conference. We also have a coach that we've hired through Solution Tree who has visited all of our schools, met some of our staff personally, and has provided some professional learning and will continue to do so. And she's in our thoughts right now because she's in Florida. We were supposed to meet with her last week, and she said, my family is all here and we all survived. So she's in our thoughts right now. We're also partnering with Santa Clara County on PBIS, or Positive Behavior Intervention Strategies. And we started that work a little bit in the beginning of the year, and some of our schools have really taken off and kind of pioneered the work. So we're kind of all in different places, but we're going to get there. I feel very positive about that, and no pun intended. but I think that it's going to have a very positive effect this year. They'll be coming to our November training as well and doing a quick training on both days, so like an hour one day and an hour the next day. And then they will also be partnering with our PBIS teams and actually attending some of those PBIS meetings. So we have yet to plan those dates, but that's coming as well. And then lastly, we are still continuing our work with EL Rise on language acquisition and culturally relevant teaching. And we just met with them yesterday, as a matter of fact. And they will be back again October 17th to meet with our principals. We're trying to use what we call the train the trainer model, so that instead of EL Rise teaching to our staff, they're teaching to our principals, and then our principals in turn lead that work in their buildings. We feel that gives much more credibility to our leaders as instructional leaders, and I think that we have a better response from our teachers when they see their principals leading that work. So those are some of the things that we are doing this year that we're excited about, that we feel will make a big impact on our scores for our local indicators, as well as on student achievement, because as we know, that's the bottom line. Our goal, our mission always is around increasing student achievement for all. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Do we have any questions from the trustees?
I have
Any
one.
comments?
Thank you very much. I'm really interested in the parent and family engagement program that you mentioned, and I'm hoping that we'll hear updates periodically about specifically how that works, because it's a great topic, and it's also going to be difficult to implement in some ways. I'd like to add to that, not as a part of the program, but I'd like to see us do more in the area of community engagement outside of our school community, because we're part of the whole. And I know when we talk about campaigning for political issues, or we're looking for fundraising opportunities, sometimes we forget that there's a whole group of folks out there that don't know everything about the inside of a school district. So I think if we could somehow incorporate just a general, getting people friendly with our district and knowing who we are, I'd love to see that. So
It's so funny you should say that, because about 20 minutes before I walked in the door, I sent a document to Claudia and Superintendent French and a couple others. I wrote a job description for a position, a parent liaison, family and community liaison position that I am hoping that that we can have here in Millbrae. And I know it's got to go all through the process and everything, of course, but I just finished that today, so hopefully.
I didn't mean to set you up for that, but if it works, I want full credit. Okay.
Okay, you got it. You got it.
Thank you.
I really appreciate all the work that is being done to build a safe and inclusive school climate. I really am so pleased to see the No Place for Hate program that's going to be implemented. I think that's going to be really make a big difference for our kids. And I do also appreciate that you're doing the anti-bias training for all the staff. I think given everything that's going on in the world, we need to have much more greater understanding of other people's cultures and really just celebrate all kinds of things and make sure we check our bias when we're dealing with everybody. So I really do appreciate the work that you're doing there, as well as what you're doing with PBIS, professional learning communities, and EL Rise. I think all of that, I'm very hopeful, and I'm excited to see the impact of those initiatives.
Thank you, Karen. I do have a question. We've been here for years, and we've had different directors here, different people sitting in these chairs, and would give us some lower numbers than what we would expect. And they always would tell us that it's just a snapshot. These numbers are just a snapshot. It really doesn't mean how well or how poor we're doing. And so I wanted to get your perspective on that. Is this just a snapshot of the numbers that were lower? And then my second part of my question is mainly this COVID related because the kids are so behind? Because I'm hearing that in other school districts.
You know, I was at a conference today, and I'm going to just quote the speaker because she said it well. She said, we talk a lot about learning loss, And she said, we need to stop using that term, especially with our littles, because when you think about it, they didn't lose something. They never got to learn it in the first place. So yes, some of this is probably COVID related, but I think it's more than that. I think there's a lot of things that affect those numbers. And I think some of it is as you can see, we're trying to do a lot. And so sometimes it's better to do, kind of like a less is more type of thing. But some of these things have been written into the plans, and so we can't necessarily just go, oh, we're not going to do that, right? So we're trying to do many, many good things, and sometimes we fail because we just almost set ourselves up that way because we have so many things on our plate. So sometimes when we're going through and looking at this self-reflection tool, it's about, okay, did we do what we said we were going to do? And there are some things where, no, they just didn't get done. So that contributes to the lower scores as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that presentation. That was really, really. Thank you, Terry.
Yes.
Okay. Moving right along. What? The what? Oh, sure, go right ahead.
I motion to approve.
Okay, motion by trustee Chintz. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Trustee Famous, second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very, very much. And we're going to go right to number 12, discussion item, physical education curriculum. Terry Brenner and Deborah French, who's not here.
Okay, so I didn't write anything down for this. I didn't realize I was going to be even speaking about it till the last minute, but I have their curriculum on my desk, and we've been kind of looking through it. They presented it at a board meeting like in 1870. No, I'm just kidding. 2016, so it was a while ago. And I guess
I was there.
you were there. Okay, I guess we all thought that it had been approved, and in fact, it had not been approved. And so, right, 2016. And so
No, not asking for approval, so I'm sorry, I'm going to step in here. So the curriculum is going to be analyzed and checking against the state standards to see if it's still relevant with the state standards, to make sure it still meets those state standards, and then it'll be brought to the board for further discussion and eventually approval in the next couple of weeks.
So I know that the PE group at the time at Taylor worked really hard, long and hard on that curriculum. And I have no idea why we didn't approve it. But it's something that we all have to look into. I don't know. I hope that they come back to us.
The discussions will include meetings with the current PE department, with administration, and make sure we're all on board, make sure it's still relevant. And yeah, they will come back. If you want them to come back, we can ask them to come back and speak to it again.
I think that would be pertinent. Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Possible future agenda items. Do we have anything that we want to talk about? Future agenda items? Anything, Dennis?
No, not tonight.
Karen? No, I think we talked about a lot of things enough. Okay. I will now ask for adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Karen Chin made the motion, second by trustee Famo. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 3-0. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.